There we see the frozen tundra, where ne'er a life is lived, and the world is barren. It's the end of my driveway. She's blowing, boys. She's blowing. More snow. I think that's up to 2 feet. 2 feet of snow. Both feet. Left and right. And it's snow. That's just past the first week of January. Crazy. Temperature's a bit better. -20 or something like that. Not with that wind, it's not though. But I won't turn it down. Keep plowing. So there you go, folks. People who don't know the prairies, that's what you call sundogs. It's a rainbow caused by ice crystals in the air, and the sun shining through them creates like little mini rainbows. Sometimes it'll go all the way up, and you get them at night time too, moondogs too. So yeah, there you go. Now you know. Yeah. She got a little bit big. So, the old-fashioned way. So we have a track on the beater here. And we had a knife made for these because these never came with a knife. Not this kind of knife, but a rod with a blade on it. So we had one made. So 2 tracks of square stock, or whatever you want to call it, and then there's a hole where that line is that you would push a big bar with blade on it up there. Now, unless you're doing it once a week, it ends up being absolutely useless. So usually once a month I'll clean this out. Yeah, I know, probably should do it more often, but what do you do? So, spend usually about half an hour, 40 minutes, and pull all this out. Oh, I know you're all jealous. You want to be here so badly. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do a time travel. One of these. Just go like, So, yeah, 25 minutes. So there's the lines there. So what I do is I expose the hammers, I take the twine off the bolts and flick the hammers over. And that way I start moving all the net wrap down and out. And then when I'm done, I go back along and I walk and I stomp the net wrap down. It just makes it pulling that much easier. Doesn't look like much, but I'll bring you back in a second once it's out. Yeah, it grows. It grows once you pull it out. Shut it. I need to get out more. So yeah, net wrap. It's kind of taken over in this farm. So I'm gonna climb back up here. So we still have an issue. It always builds up at this end. I think it's pretty well from the bales coming over here. So you get twine getting caught up and hanging up here, and then so it catches on and then it gets pulled in. That end, clean. This end, not so much. So yeah, I just kind of dig away at this for the most part, because eventually it gets in there just so long, it just ends up turning into a plastic dust seal. So Yep, once every 5 or 6 years we pull the bearings out, clean it up, and if the bearings need replaced, we replace them. If not, we just grease them and keep going. I did notice, turn this, did notice, there, kind of like BCP trucking, they had lost some hammers. See, the way these ones work, I mean, they kind of slap back and forward, but that one there actually stopped turning completely. It seized. So that's probably what made it break off. It's broke right at the welds. So, I'm gonna figure out, I'll do a call and see if I can find out how much these cost. Shouldn't be too hard to figure that out, considering Bale King Vortex 880. Product of Bridgeview Manufacturing, Gerald, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. 306-745-2711. For all your bale bursting needs. Danger, don't be stupid. So yeah, I'll do some digging and see what these hammers cost. I might dig it off, notch cut it and weld on a piece and see how it does. As long as it doesn't come flying out of there and kill one of my cows right in the head. Anyway. So yeah. That's cleaning out a Bale King. The old school way, stubborn person way. And as you'll notice, I don't have the deflector on this. I get tired of it catching on gates. I never use this for feeding, ever. I think I've maybe fed like windrowed hay bales less than half a dozen times in the 17 years that I've owned this. So yeah, I get tired of it banging on gates and whatnot, so bugger it, took it off. That way when I'm bedding, just let her buck. Just let her buck, eh? So yeah. Job's a good one. So, you know when your mom told you, stop picking at your scab? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure most guys will know where I'm going with this. Yeah. It bothered me. So yeah, I started picking at the scab. So the bearing's fine, and that was one of the reasons, sorry about this, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this was so the bearing didn't chew out. Turns out, this wall here is so form-fitting to that shaft that the twine can't really come at the back of the bearing. So the bearing should, for the most part, grease it. The bearing should be fine. The twine, the only issue with the twine, which really made me finish doing it because there was some anger involved, was that the twine was actually building so much pressure in there that it was pushing against the roller and the body. So when it's cold and the oil is already thick, it's really hard to get this going. Now I'm not too proud to show this. That's what came out of that crevice at the end of the feed roller. Yeah, it grew, and I'm not going to make a sexual pun about this. It just kept coming and coming. Stop it! Okay, I'm going to have to get censored because of this. This is just getting out of control. Anyway, yeah, It's amazing how much of that twine and crud get wedged in there. So, jump back up here. So I think what I'm gonna do is, because these things are pretty well pointless at the back, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld in 4 of these, except these are useless because they're thin. So I'm gonna get like 1/4 inch bar stock, and I'll weld it on here and then have it up at an angle against here. So it'll be touching here. So if twine comes in, it'll come down and on. Anything goes in there, it's gonna happen, but at least I should slow it down a little bit. So yeah, 4 should be enough. I'll cut these off, grind some spots, spin it around. I've just gotta put that end back on. So I was just gonna show you a little Piper Doug tip, because that one's all buttoned up. What I'm doing over here is putting these ones back on, and yeah, there's only one Allen head socket bolt left on here because they all kind of worked out on this side. Those ones, you can see, they're still there. Don't know why this side. But what I do is, and I keep one of the old engine oil filters of the vehicles that I've serviced, and all I do is I use it as a dipper. Dip. So yeah, I just dip them in nasty old engine oil, fire them back in there. Torque the shit out of them, but at least there's that stuff in there. I don't know if it does any good, but it makes me feel better doing it. So, yeah, I need to bed because we had another big snowstorm last night. So I'm not going to worry about that end for now. That can probably wait till spring, because that one, it never seems to really get too far out of control. There is twine on it, but I think what I'll end up doing is I'll end up cutting that off to take this one apart. And then I'll do the same as what I'm doing on this side. So I might bring you back for that one. If the welds don't turn out so good, I probably won't bring you back, because I don't want Ed Goslin or Ivan Moreau or the infamous Straight Pipe Acres there going, did you let some birds in to poop on your welds there, Piper Doug? So we'll call this job a good one. I'll go grease everything up and then fire back out the door. And then we'll have a wee bonfire. Mint! I told you. I told you. Take it easy on me. You get the general gist of what I was trying to do here. Yeah, because I had to... My power cord for my welder only reached around the corner there, and then I had my whip up and over here, so I was welding under, backhanded, over, upside down, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, as you can see, some of them have a bit of a gap, but it's weird because when I turn it, that one there touches on the back side. So I think this wall here must be bowed out a little bit at the top, so I don't think it matters much. One way or another it's going to get twine in there, but at least this might slow it down a little bit. Done!